Hi everyone, I'm Pat, and welcome to Empire Sportsman Outdoors. Today we're in Onondaga County visiting the 355-acre unique Camillus forest area. We're going to be checking out the 4.5 miles of public rights access for fishing, which is stocked with brook and brown trout. Let's go see what we can put on the line. So now that we're in the beginning of trout season here in New York, the water conditions are looking a little dark, so that's why I chose a brighter color lure, and I've got some other white rooster tails as well to see if that'll work. And for later on, I also want to try out some soft plastics that I found. Got inch and a half long worms. They've been soaking in some power bait juice. Hopefully that'll reel them in too. Still a little muddy out here, so I gotta brush off from a little spill on the way I took down. Alright, let's start reeling them in. Perfect. So I got that to land just about a foot short of the bank there, casting a little upstream so it can kind of ease its way down, and then I can slowly loop it back around to me. So now that I've had a few casts here, really haven't found any bites, we're going to keep moving and find that hot spot. So we've had a particularly cold winter in New York this year, and so the water temperatures are still relatively low, so I'm using a relatively slow retrieve just because the fish are still a little dormant, maybe not quite moving at full speed yet. But we found some calmer waters, a little nicer conditions, and we're going to think this is going to produce for us. So I swapped out lures. I put on a nice little small red devil, try and size it down a little bit, something a little brighter. I'm going to try a few more casts here. If we don't get anything, we're going to head on, we're going to go upstream a bit and see what we can find out. And I had a little excess line that I had to cut, and I want to make sure we're stewards of the land and take that home with us. Definitely don't want to leave that laying around here. And remember, anytime you're out and you've got some extra line you had to cut off, always take it home. It takes a very long time to break down. Just had a little snagging incident on a tree there, so I'm throwing on a new swivel. I'm going to give that a whirl. And if that doesn't produce, we're in the near future we're going to start hunting for a new area, as well as I think I'm going to switch over to some soft plastics and see if that works. We've also been having a little bit of snow come down. It's definitely been dropping a good 5 to 7 degrees in temp, and we're remaining warm enough. Fingers are a little cold, but once we start moving, we'll warm back up here. We made it back down to where we originally parked at, and we're actually going to have to scoot down the road to get over to the next stretch of fishing access. So we're going to take a little right around the corner here and see what we can find. So we've got about 4.5 miles of fishing access. There's a couple gaps that we have closed off by the state. That's what we're crossing over right now. We've got the creek over to our left here, but it's blocked off by a fence there. So we're just going to go down a little ways, enjoy some nature until we hit our next spot. We're further down towards the end of 9 Mile Creek. We worked our way down, and our first approach of using smaller baits, brighter colors, didn't really work, so we're going to mix it up a little bit. And we've got some heavier flowing waters. We're actually going to try some larger baits with some night crawlers and some salted minnows. So tying on a slightly larger hook, and we're going to try out this new method, and we're just going to keep trying until we find something that works. Well, it's a little after 2 now, and it really hasn't been a successful day out fishing. We came out here knowing that it was opening weekend, but the water conditions were still pretty cold. However, we wanted to come out just so we can do a little scouting, and now we can return back to the area after knowing where all the good spots are. We're going to find some calmer water. We did go through pretty much the entire 4.5 mile stretch of fishable area, and we ran into about 10 plus other fishermen, and even a DEC employee was out taking reports on how many had been caught. And what we do know is that we're not the only ones in this boat. There was only reported 2 other fish that were caught today. So we were able to come out. We want to say we were out here and giving it an honest try, but conditions are only going to get better. They're going to keep warming up throughout the rest of the month, and we're surely going to be back out hitting the waters to see what we can put on our lines. Thank you very much for watching today. My name is Pat, and this is Empire Sportsman Outdoors.